I was watching Babe. Y'all, I'm just there chilling, okay? Like, alright. And I want to say this on a family, okay? You can love your family down. Okay, like, we not, what we not finna do is this. That's not what we finna to get down to. Okay? So my thing is, you can love your family down and not like them. Love and like is two different types of emotional feelings, right? Two different types of attachments. Like, I love you, I like you, I don't like you, I don't love you. However you want to put it. So I just want to say, you can love people in your family. You can love people in your family. You can love people in your family and not like them at all. Okay? You can be like, I love you, but I don't like your actions. I don't like the things that you do. I don't like how you move. I don't like how you talk to people. I don't like how you talk to me. I don't like how you treat this person. I don't like how you do this. I don't like how you do that. But at the end of the day, I love you, you know? Love, like, or you could be like, I don't like you and I don't love you. Like, I don't have no type of emotional connections or feelings for you. Like, I really don't care about you. Um, you're not my cup of tea, so I would never drink you, okay? I don't drink pumpkin latte, so therefore you would never be consumed into my body. So, boom. I don't like you, so I don't want your energy around me. I can't, you know, technically, right? And sometimes, we have to, when we have those toxic family members, we have to think about, do they know that they're toxic? If they're codependent, do they know that they're codependent? If they're narcissistic or manipulative, do they know that they're these things? Because a lot of times, especially if it's a kid, right? So let's say a kid grows up in a house at a young age, 2, 3, 4. I want to say two, but I want to say a learning age, like 4, 5, or whatever. And let's say they have like a narcissistic parent, a codependent parent, a manipulative parent, or siblings, or whoever raised them, whether aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa, sister, brothers, whoever raised that person, right? And let's say because their mind is so young and fresh and it's a sponge, so it's absorbing everything and they're absorbing your behavior patterns. And you out there treating people like crap, and you're talking to people like crap, and you're doing all these things, and you're not teaching your child or this child that's in your care that this is not what happens. This is not what you do. This is not how you treat people. You actually treat people the way you want to be treated. So if you want kindness and compassion and care and love and equal reciprocity and stuff like that, then that's what you have to give out. But you just out here dogging people out, talking to people crazy, you treating people crazy, you acting crazy, and it's like telling your child don't drink and drive, and then you drink and drive. So sometimes people inherit these traits from childhood, and sometimes they don't even know throughout their life that they're being narcissistic or manipulative or codependent and stuff like that. They think that this is normal, like, oh, my mom and my dad or my aunt, my uncle, my grandma, my grandpa, whoever raised me, this is how they handle things. This is what especially the person you're getting advice from. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful about who you get advice from, because people with the most shittiest life be trying to be out here giving the most child. If you don't clean up your own poop, okay, your own manure, clean up your own poop before you sit out here trying to help other people clean up their poop. It's like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So you got to think about that. This could be something that's inherited. Maybe, you, like I said, you had a parent and that gene just inherited to you. You see it, you grow up with it. This is how you treat people and other stuff like that. And most people don't know that they're doing things bad until you tell them. Like, if you have a child that's being narcissistic and manipulative and just fucked up towards their friends, you as the parent, if their friends is not going to sit up there and tell them, because maybe their friends grew up in the same environment, so they think that this attitude, this behavior is normal. Like, oh, well, this is how my sisters treat their friends, or this is how my brothers treat their friends, or this is how my parents treat each other. So you treating me this way is normal to me. Like, I'm used to this. No, you should never be used to people treating you like crap. I don't give a damn what it is, your wife, your husband, your children, your parents, friends, family, or co. You should never, strangers, you should never be used to people treating you like crap, okay? Especially if you're in a partnership, like a marriage or relationship or something like that. Like, you are a team, you are a partnership. There should never be any type of competition unless it's healthy. Unless, when I say healthy, it's like weight loss healthy. You know, something like that. Like, I'm going to help push and motivate you to becoming the best version of you can possibly be. I'm going to help push and motivate you to start that business, go to school, build your finances and stuff like that. Like, healthy things like that. Like, it should never be, all the headaches and the arguments, and then you got makeup and breakup, and then next thing you know, y'all arguing, but then y'all loving each other, and then y'all gotta put on the front for the people them, and then you gotta, behind closed doors, your kids is witnessing all this type of arguing, and it's bickering, and y'all abusing each other verbally, mentally, physically, emotionally, and it's like, it's affecting your children or your child. Not only yourself, but it's affected, and then you gotta look at all the karma that's building up, and then all this negativity that's going on, and it's like, when are you gonna end it? When are you gonna end it? It's like, oh, well, I've been married to this person for, I don't give a fuck. I don't care how long you've been married. I don't care how many kids you got. I don't give a fuck how many businesses y'all have together. You're not being treated right. And the reason why you're not, because you're not allowing yourself to be treated the way you deserve to be treated. If you going out there and get a breadwinner, you working your ass off, and then you got to come home to a motherfucker that's nagging you, that don't cook, don't clean, that don't take care of the kids, that spends all the money, that goes out to with friends and party and drink all the time, that want to spend up all the money, but don't want to help contribute to bring anything in. So you're bringing in, but they're taking out. Like, cut the toxic shit out. Like, how old are you? You're in your 30s, you're in your 40s. Like, it's time for you to learn the lessons, and it's time for you to just expel those fucking people. Like, a lot of people get caught up on sex. Like, oh yeah, well, the sex is good. The sex is good, and it's like, that's all. Is that the only thing? Oh, they look good, and oh, so you're shallow. Shallow. Grow the fuck up. Like, grow all the way the fuck up. And it's like, most of the time, especially, if people get into these relationships. I remember one time I was talking to this one guy. And and he wanted to be like the emperor and the empress at the same time, but something should have flashed in me, and I didn't really take him too serious or whatever. Like, it just what the fuck it was. When I went to his place and I opened his refrigerator to his cabinet, and he had no food, but he had every pair of Jordans that came out. Like, he was one of those guys that had to live above his means. Like, he went and got a Porsche, and then he couldn't fucking take care of it, and the shit was breaking down. And it's like, why are you trying to live above your means? Like, what was happening? I remember he was telling me stuff like, cause I worked at a job, but where he lived, they had another location, like, it was literally like up the block around the corner from where he lived. And he was just like, oh, you should move in with me. And I was just like, no, because then that means that me working multiple jobs, that I'm gonna be the breadwinner, and then I'm gonna have to take care of me and you. And I'm being selfish as fuck right now. And you grown. You are a grown man with your own place, and you should be taking care of your own self. So I was just like, yeah, no. And at that time, I can literally vouch that we were playing this tag team, narc manipulative game back and forth. Like, I let him on, he let me on, but at the end of the day, I learned my lesson. you know At the end of the day, I learned my lesson. I was like, this is not what I want. This is not the type of energy that I want. This is not the type of relationship that I want. I deserve better. So therefore, I'm going to continue to be celibate and continue to just be me and work on myself and just be one with myself. And, if I go out on dates, I go out on dates. And if I don't, I don't. Like, I could take myself out on dates, okay? I'm very big on taking myself out on dates. And most of the time, most of the people who are very toxic sometimes don't even know that they're toxic because it's so embedded. Your girl's sweating up, so I'm under this. It's so embedded in their system because they've been living with this throughout years, and it takes somebody to tell them like, look at your ways, like this is so fucking toxic. And at the time, they probably still like, I don't care, whatever, whatever. What do you can't tell me, blah 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 blah. And once you catch on to them, especially like a narcissist child, once the supply run out with you, they jump onto somebody else. So sometimes they never learn their lesson throughout life, and then they come back into the next life, and guess what? They're the one that's gonna be tied up with a narcissist. So it's like, it's not now then when, okay? So, like I said, you can love people from afar, you can love people from up close, you can, dislike people in yonders. I don't know. Don't care. But you can dislike people from yonders. Like I've like for me, I've normally grown up with people disliking me for some reason. And if you know me, you know like I'm very fun, I'm very vibrant, and I pride myself on being very fun and very vibrant. And how I noticed that is because when I walk into work, I could change the mood of people. Okay, I could change the mood of people. Like when people greet me, it's the tone in their voice, it's the excitement on their face, it's the body expressions, it's the language and stuff like that. So I know that I have an impact on people. When I used to work one job, and I remember one time I came there and I was just not in the mood. Okay, I wanted to be by myself. I wanted to be alone. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I went off. I worked by myself, and people were so shooken. Like it was like they were scared. Like they didn't know what to do. They was like they instantly wanted to defend more. Like who we gotta fight. Like who we gotta fight because we don't know this person and we don't like this person. Like this is not the person that we know. And I'm like, well, get used to it, okay? Because this happens. Okay, so that was that. And like I said, I'm the type of person like my energy can definitely um transcend, rub off, project onto other people. So if I'm having a fucked up shitty day, either one, people are going to try to go out of their way to um, lift me up and stuff like that, or they're going to have a shitty day because I'm having a shitty day. And I tend to not want to do that. Even sometimes I go to work and I'm having a shitty day, I still put on a smile and stuff like that because I don't want other people, you know, I don't want it to rub off on other people. Like, it's not nobody else's problems but mine. You know what I'm saying? And now that I'm in the situation, I'm in the mindset of, always telling myself, what's the best that can happen? Most people would say, what's the worst that can happen? No, I don't say what's the worst that can happen. Like, what's the best that can happen? What's the best outcome that can happen out of this? Me ultimately being happy. So, definitely I'm just in the energy now. Like when I'm around if I'm around somebody that's toxic or manipulative or narcissistic or whatever, I like to call them out and I'll be like, well, that's very narcissistic and manipulative, like the things that you do. And sometimes I might even throw out some examples of it, like how you treat people. Like you don't treat people like that because karma's always going to come back on your ass. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people just don't care. But like I said, most people grow up, belittling people, talking down on people. Like they gotta make themselves seem bigger and better than you. So it could be they could talk about your looks, they could talk about your body, they could talk about your hair, the things you wear, where you live, all this other stuff to make them seem better. Like I said, most of my situations have been with females, right? Because I feel like they put themselves in this one-sided competition with me where it's like they compete with me, but I don't compete with them. So me, I'm a very whatever it is type of person, okay? So, if you know me, I love my Vans, I love my Uggs, I love my sweatsuits, you know what I'm saying? I'm very bubbly, happy, I'm very jokey. I'm the type of person that can crack, like, if you're a guy, and most of my best relationships, like, friendships have been with guys, like, we could sit there and we could talk for hours and crack jokes, and I won't really take anything seriously because I know at the end of the day, we are joking. versus where most females, you crack a joke, they automatically get defensive, and then they want to fight, they want to get their brothers, they want to blah blah blah, and it's like we're not trying to get to that point, like we joking. And if you know me, like I didn't do wigs, makeup, none of that. Like what you see is what you get. And I feel like a lot of them, saw that as a threat, as a competition. It's like, wow, this person is, on the fatter side. Oh, baby, a fatter side. I am juicy, okay? And, like, and then they probably look at themselves like I'm thinner, or I have a bigger butt, or I'm in shape more, or I wear makeup, or I'm prettier, all the superficial shit that goes on. And, that automatically puts them in competition against me who don't give a fuck because now they have to outshine me in some type of way. And I'm still gonna get the attention, whether you like it or not. I'm still gonna get attention, whether you get with him, whether you suck him off, whether you fuck him, whether he duck you. Don't care because at the end of the day, I'm still gonna get his attention. Because at the end of the day, that's my friend, not somebody I'm trying to pursue as a man of mine. Mm, mm. And that's one thing that I noticed that a lot of females would do. They like if I was talking to a dude, they would come off sexual to that person, and then we would just look at each other, and I'm like, well, if you want to get it, get it. Like that's easy. That's an easy meal ticket. Okay, she throwing it at you. Like that's the type of person that I am. Like if it's my friend, I'm like, well, she throwing it at you, so what you gonna do? And they like, I don't want it, I don't want it. And it's like, oh, well, you telling him not to talk to me. And it's like, he don't want you because you easy. You already throwing it at him. He don't even know you. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm sitting up here cracking your mama jokes with this person and he falling in love with me. Like, where we going? Where we going? Besides the point. But like I said, most people don't know their ways until you tell them about their ways. Most people are fake mean girls and mean boys. Most people are fake, um, just fake in general. Especially when you know a fake mean boy and mean girl because those are the people that normally talk to you and then they get around that mean person and then over something they want to be a mean person. It's like you mad fake because before this person came you wasn't that mean person. So I'm gonna need you to get your shit all the way together. Like either you are mean or you're not mean. Like either you're gonna play dress up or you're gonna or that's actually who you are. Like where we going, what direction we flowing in, and stuff like that. So, like I said, now I'm into the situation where if somebody sit up here and especially me being more awakened than most people that I know, we can definitely, and I know myself, we can definitely get in the habit of, always want to correct people and tell people the right from the wrong, and that's not this and this is not that. I stopped, like, most, like I said, most people they're not awakened, so they don't see things through the eyes of us, like, right? So they don't see things through the eyes of us. They see things very 3D, very materialistically, very earthy. Like they don't see things from the highest point of view. And sometimes we don't even see things from the highest point of view at certain situation aspects and stuff like that in our life. And it's perfectly fine because it's all about a learning lesson, right? So I used to be like super combative and, always wanted to, nail the statement or nail the situation like no this is what it is and that's what it is and it's not okay. So I got over it. Okay? I got over it. All right. And like I said, most people would do things, especially if you notice this as a parent that you have a manipulative, narcissistic, codependent child. That's your job to break that cycle. Not break it, but if your child is young, especially, elementary school, junior high school, even teenage years, it's your job to point that shit out to your child and be like, this is, especially, like I said, especially if your child is like elementary school, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's something that you do. It's something that they have seen you do or seen a family member do, or maybe their dad is telling them this, or their mom, or their brothers, or their sisters, or aunt, cousins, uncles. Something is making an impact on this child's life. So that's your job as a parent to cut that shit the fuck out. Like if you notice every time they go to their cousin's house, they come back and there's something different, no more. no more. And then that's your job as a parent to reach out to the parents of, you know, your family members and be like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Because every time my kid comes back from your house is doing some bullshit, like what's happening over there? So now my child can't come back over because y'all being toxic as fuck. And I do not allow that in my house. So pretty much that's basically like that. And like I said, most people you have to literally call them out because they literally don't understand. They don't know. Like most people try to put on the facade. Like I said, they want to be bigger. They want to be better. They want to be seen as the head of the family, or they want to be seen as the matriarch. They want to be seen as the best of the best. They want to be seen as all hell and high mighty. And sometimes you just have to call them out. Sometimes you have to understand. Sometimes you just have to be like, no, it's not you. It's not you in this lifetime. Maybe a different lifetime you were, but this one is not you. Because at the end of the day, I'm the leader of myself. I follow myself, and I make whatever rules I choose to make for myself. Like I tell God, order my footsteps, but let me know which way I need to turn. So I'm not blocking myself, and stuff, the situations like that, So, and this can definitely go for, like the whole twin flame soulmate situation. Most people fall in love. Most people um, romanticize the love portion of it, but not the work portion of it. Like we each got our own path. We each gonna, be doing our own different things. So maybe the person that you with, God has to throw a curveball in their way in order for them to change up certain habits and toxic energies that they have. So sometimes, they might end up with a Carmisha or a Carmichael, you know or whether if it's not love, if it's not a relationship, then it might be their kids, it might be their family. Maybe they have toxic family members and friends that always want to keep them in this energy of self-sabotage, and they got confidence issues, and they got all these issues and kinks and things that if y'all was to come together right now, it would not last because one person one person just ain't it at the moment. And you have to come to a point where you are um, okay with that. You have to say, hell, let me go on and live my life. Let me go on and do what I do and date myself and go out with friends. And hey, if a person asks me out on a date and if the feeling is right, then cool. We're gonna do what to do. But like I said, curveballs always going to be thrown in here because at the end of the day, we all got karma. Karma is good and bad. You understand what I'm saying? Good karma, you get a promotion, you get a raise, you get that house you want, you get that car you want, that business of yours pop the hell off, and now you're successful. Good karma, bad karma. Child, you know, you know. And sometimes some people keep themselves in a loop. Like I always say, you can't ascend without descending. You can't go up without going down. You know, what goes up must come back down. If you take a gun and shoot it in the sky and it's a bird and it hit a bird, what's the bird going to do? The bird's going to fall back down. I mean, you killed the bird. Okay, you got some. Yeah. And I'm a very grateful person because like I said, I've been able to see my highs and my lows, and things that I need to change about myself, and so on and so forth. So I don't try to change that about anyone else. Like if you don't feel like you want to change right now, or you want to grow right now, or you still want to be immature, you still want to be childish, that's on you. You have no space in my life because that means that you're bringing all of that energy into my life while I'm just trying to grow in a sin and be better than yesterday and the day before and the day before. For my future, you are going to be holding me back, and baby, we just can't be doing to hold it back. Like you gotta go somewhere else. Okay, you can't live here. And so that's just where it is. So definitely, if you have those people, family members, friends, and stuff like that, you love them. or you like them, you don't love them, you love them, you don't like them, you don't like them or love them, let it be known and let it be known why. Like, don't sit up there and hold like a grudge against them or hold some type of animosity or anything like that against them. Like, if you don't like them, I don't know. I don't like when you do X, Y, X, Y, and Z because I don't do this to you, and you do this, and you do this, you do that. Some people don't know what the boundaries are. Some people always will cross other people's boundaries until something happens and they're put in their place. Like, sometimes people will consistently overstep your boundaries because you're not putting it in your place. Like, you gotta curse them out, or whatever it is. Then, if that's how they're going to get the message, then that's how they're going to get the message. If you feel like it's becoming too toxic or it's becoming too much of a burden for you, put that down. That's not for you to carry. Okay, most people will have a problem with you for their own reasons. Okay, the saying, other people's problem with you have nothing to do with you. The way other people think about you has nothing to do with you. It's everything to do with them. Okay, so if people don't feel like you're cute, that's a them problem. If people don't feel like you're smart, then that's a them problem. If people don't feel like you're productive enough, then that's a them problem. Because you can be as productive as hell to yourself, but it's not the way they want you to be productive. So it's like you not doing it how I want to do it. You're not sweeping the floor how I want you to sweep the floors. You don't wipe the table the way I want you to wipe the table. So it's like, excuse you, like, that's your problem. It ain't got shit to do with me. You do the shit. You do the shit. Um, so yeah, y'all. So that's one thing that I definitely wanted to get on and say. Um, you can love people, you can like people, but you definitely have to start calling people out on how they are acting. And definitely take a look at yourself, because it could be you that inherit these traits from other people, from your family, from your, look at your parents first and foremost, the people that raised you. Look at them and look at how their behavior has affected you, whether it's your dating life, your education life, your work life, or whatever. If you were always told, as a female, like, you gotta be in your infant mode, you gotta hustle, 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 you gotta get it, get it, get it, and be very masculine. Most likely, you didn't grow up with a lot of femininity surroundings. So, your mother could have been very masculine, your sisters could have been very masculine, like, females in your family could have just been very, very masculine, and you had no feminine energy in your life to, teach you about, your empress energy and your goddess energy and stuff like that, and the energy of allowing and stuff like that, because it was very masculine. So just imagine, if you have a masculine mom, you got a masculine dad, they're going to raise you as a female to be very masculine. And if you're a guy, it can make you toxic masculine. So definitely take heed to who raised you and how their behavior and traits, because we do inherit traits from our parents and stuff, and people that raised us in our environment. Um, and look at how it has affected, shaped, and molded your life to this point. And if you have children, then you will go into how that is affecting, how your behavior is affecting your children. If you still see the consistent patterns, then that means you gotta change it. It's time for you to change it, because it starts with you, okay? So that's just something that I wanted to say today. And be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. Nine saying, nine mean. And I'll catch you guys later.